What's going on, guys? It's David from Aqua Otter, and welcome back to another One Piece chapter review. In case you haven't noticed, I'm using my webcam for the first time in this video. You can see my face. I'm sorry about the poor quality. I don't have a really good webcam. I'm only using the webcam off my laptop. So you're going to have to bear with me. I'm sure the editing on this is going to be like a little bit rough, kind of choppy in some parts, but I'm going to get better the more practice I get. So, with that being said, we're going to go right into the chapter review. We're going to be talking about chapter 1004, Millet Dumplings. The cover page for this chapter is Chopper, a monkey, and a squirrel. They're all sitting around in a circle with their cheeks stuffed full of Rumble Ball candy. It's kind of a cute cover page. We're going to go straight into the chapter, though, because there's a lot I want to talk about. I have a lot of theories as to where this is going to go. Stay tuned for the very end of the video, where I'm going to give my theory for what's going to happen in chapter 1005, like I did in the last video. So the chapter starts with Speed, the horse girl headliner that used to be part of Kaido's crew, but back, I think, in Act 1 in like Bakura Town, Tama gave her the dumpling, so she's on our side now, and she's there at Onigashima, and she's handing out to all of the beast pirates that are there the dumplings that come from Tama's cheek, and they're saying, "Oh, are you sure these are special dumplings? They don't taste any different to me." And she says, "No, these are from Queen. They'll make you stronger. They'll boost your energy." And Briscola is there, the guy with the big like gorilla fist, smile fruit. And they're all just commenting on how, like, oh man, Speed is, like, so attractive, you know, she's so hot, and they're just doing what she says and just gobbling them up. So here we get a flashback to Tama and how she actually arrived on Onigashima, and you see her talking to Speed back probably in, like, the woods around Tengu's house, I'm assuming, and she's saying about how she really wants to participate in the raid, she wants to go to Onigashima, but no one's going to take her. And then you see how she got there. She's actually in Speed's boat on her way to Onigashima, and while she's there, she's pulling and pulling and pulling, and she's just creating all of these dumplings off of her cheeks. She's really exhausting herself because she knows that she can help in this battle. And she says to Speed, and also Gazelle Man from Bakura Town, and Daifugo, the big like scorpion guy from the prison, they're also on the boat traveling over with her. And she says to them, and I kind of like this moment because when we first meet Tama, her whole thing is like, I'm not hungry, you know, a Kunoichi will never complain, like, I'm gonna be a great Kunoichi, so I'm gonna just bear this, I'm not, like, my stomach, that's not me gurgling. But she just flat out says, like, I'm tired of being hungry, I've never seen a Wano without Orochi or Kaido. I need to do my part. Like, I know that I can help. I want to eat to my full. I want to see Momo as Shogun. And I really, I love this because something that I think we miss a lot in One Piece is the future generation. I mean, there's so much focus on like the current generation versus the new generation, which is like, you know, right now, this whole chapter, the past 3 chapters that we've had have all been about the current generation, the Yonko, Big Mom, and Kaido fighting the new generation in Luffy and the Supernovas, the worst generation. But I think we miss out a lot on, like, what Luffy's legacy is going to be, what the worst generation's legacy is going to be. And we actually get a really good chance of seeing that in Wano country. We have Momo, who is very young. We have Tama, who is also very young. And this is like, they're looking towards their future, and it's kind of giving us a glimpse of, like, the things that are actually changing within the world. But so now we're back at Onigashima. We see Gazelle Man. He's running around. He's giving people the dumplings, trying to bring as many people over to our side as they can. And Daifugo's running down the halls. He's literally shoving the dumplings into the mouth of gifters. And he's just, you know, eat this, it's all going to bring you over to my master's side. So then from here we go, and finally, just like I predicted at the end of my last video, we're not back up on the roof, obviously. From the beginning of this chapter, we knew that we're not going to be back up on the roof. But we don't even get a glimpse of the roof in this chapter. We go straight to another fight, a fight I've been super, super excited to see. We see Frankie versus Sasuke, and this is just a full-on grap fest. And as a fan of pro wrestling, I love seeing Frankie fights. Frankie fights are always amazing. Like his fight with Senor Pink in Dressrosa, really, it's probably one of my favorite fights in the entire arc because it's just a good old-fashioned, like, old school slug grapple fest. All the suplexes that happen in that fight, and that's kind of what it is here. A lot of grappling and a lot of throwing. So we start with Frankie, and of course Frankie being the weapons guy, he's firing off his general left, trying to just shoot Sasuke, who's in full Triceratops form, and Sasuke is just charging straight for him. And right as he gets like pretty close to like the cockpit, I would call it, of the Frankie Shogun, Frankie is just grappling him, trying to get him to stop. And it's basically like almost 2 full pages of just straight up like almost zero dialogue, just this fight between them. And Frankie ends up grabbing Sasuke by the horns and just throwing him. And so Frankie's about to launch off another general left after he tosses Sasuke, but then he gets grabbed by a bunch of the beast pirates and like held in place. And he can't move, and he's yelling like, "Hey, like get off of me." And this is really where I think we get a good inclination of like how strong the beast pirates are. Like, I don't know about the general consensus in the community, but me personally, I've been kind of just looking at them as fodder. And really, when it comes down to it, that's probably what they're going to end up being. Like, I don't think that half of the gifters or the pleasures could take, like, a Conqueror's Hockey blast from Luffy, but Frankie's being held into place, and they're really strong. He can't move. So Sasuke's about to like charge right at Frankie, and right at this moment is when Usopp, Nami, and Tama show up riding on the back of Koma Inu. And Frankie's like, "Yes, get these guys off of me." And as they're running forward, they start screaming, "Help us!" And they have a huge line of the beast pirates like chasing after them. And Sasuke at this moment is like, yes, block the back. They can't get out. They're outnumbered. It's true all around the island. And this goes back to what happened last chapter, in chapter 1003, Night on the Board, where you see CP0 and they have that board out. And the whole point of the board is to illustrate how there are fights happening all over the island, but they're outnumbered. Our forces are outnumbered completely, and they're surrounded by the beast pirates. So it's almost impossible for them to win this fight. But this is where Tama comes in. And just as I predicted in my last video, she yells out, "That's what I'm here for. I came here to turn that around." And this is like, man, I love this moment so much, because right as she says that, there's this little panel, and it's Nami, Usopp, and Luffy, and you get Usopp with the, and all of them all of a sudden start pulling people off of Frankie. Like, all of the people that are chasing Usopp, Nami, and Tama, they're all people who have already been turned over to our side. And they start pulling Frankie off, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" Frankie's going, "What's happening?" So Page 1 and Ulti show up, and they've been chasing after Usopp and Nami right at this point. And Ulti yells out to Sasuke and tells him, "They've turned code against us." And she starts immediately just running towards Nami, and she jumps up in the air and is like, "This time I'm going to smash your head in." And I love this moment because Nami is... I love all of the Straw Hats equally, and obviously I have my favorites just like everyone does. But I really, like, one thing that I really love about Whole Cake Island specifically, and then this arc, and we haven't seen it a whole lot in this arc, but this gives me a lot of hope for the future of this arc, specifically with this Page 1 and Ulti versus Usopp and Nami fight. Nami, like, I feel like most people feel like the coward trio, and I've talked about this before. Most people feel like the coward trio of Usopp, Nami, and Chopper, they really aren't, like, they can't, like, keep up in the new world. And I really don't think that's true. Like, I don't think that Nami is ever going to be the type of person who, at this point in the story, will ever have a one-on-one fight ever again. But Nami is like a very typical support class fighter, and she serves a really important role as that support class. And she, in this moment, as Ulti's like running up to her, she shows this, and we haven't seen this move since all the way back in Eni's lobby, where she drops back on the back of Koma Inu, she launches out her little cloud, and she hits Ulti with the Thunderlance Tempo, which is the same move that she used to take down Khalifa in Eni's lobby. But yeah, I'm really excited for this Page 1 and Ulti fight against Usopp and Nami. I really hope that it stays like Page 1 and Ulti versus Usopp and Nami, because both of them, I think, have so much potential as support fighters, and they don't get a chance to shine as much when you compare them to Luffy or Zoro or Sanji, or even now like Jinbei. And I really think, as we kind of hint later on in this chapter, and I will get to that, but like, I really think Robin's going to also shine. Wano is going to be a very good arc for kind of establishing really where the Straw Hats are after this arc. Like, it's going to be a major power-up arc, and I think that Nami and Usopp, that fight against Page 1 and Ulti, it's really going to be It's really going to be their time to shine, specifically with Nami. I think she's going to really impress. But so she hits ulti with this Thunderlance tempo, and ulti drops. And Page 1 is like calling out to her. But Nami, of course, knows, and she kind of laments on this fact that maybe she doesn't have Zeus anymore. She goes, I'm going to need stronger lightning if I want that to work. And Usopp at this point pulls out, and like I said in the last video, Usopp's the sniper. He starts launching his special attack, Millet Dumpling Stars. He starts launching Tama's dumplings right into the mouths of some of the beast pirates. And everyone that's eating these dumplings, Tama is saying, you know, come on everybody, follow us, and they move out of the way. And Sasuke is like starting to like yell at everybody, and he's saying, you know, stop that, what are you guys doing? Armored Division, like I need you here. And Frankie comes out of nowhere at this point, pulls out his big Frankie Shogun sword, and says, you know, pay attention, I'm your opponent. And he hits Sasuke with a big, like, double V, like, double slash in the shape of a V. He calls it his V for victory flash. And I don't believe that he's taken down Sasuke by any measure, but that's pretty much all we see of this fight. This fight, I think, is going to be... I can't wait to see the Tobiropo in their, like, hybrid forms. Especially, like, I can't wait to see, like, the fight between Jinbei and Who's Who, which we don't see any of this time. But, like, specifically because we've only seen Sasuke fight Frankie as, like, his normal form and his full Triceratops form, I think that it's going to be pretty badass when he pops back up in his hybrid form. I think that's going to still be a really good fight. And it's going to be a bit more fair and on even ground now that he doesn't have all of the Beast Pirates to interfere with the fight. So from here we transition over from Frankie and Sasuke's fight to Sanji and Black Maria. And Sanji is completely incapacitated. And Black Maria is saying, you know, well, you fought well, Blackleg, but, you know, you took your weakness for fighting women didn't serve you well. You know, you took out all of the men, no problem. But your refusal to attack women and fight women, that was your downfall. And so she says, speak into this woman right here. I want you to call for Nico Robin. And I'm gonna spend a lot of time talking about this moment here because I really like Robin. I think Robin gets a huge, like, I don't want to say bad rap because I feel like a lot of people appreciate her and know that she has more potential, but she says, call for Nico Robin, talk to this woman, and it's the woman, it's a woman standing there with the thing over her face, the little eye mask that we've seen all throughout Onigashima. Bao Huang, who will show back up in later on in this chapter. Bao Huang, the little flying squirrel girl, who is like Kaido's, the lead kunoichi of the Beast Pirates. She's like the whole like reconnaissance girl. She wears one on her face. But so there's a girl with one of them on her face, and she says, if you speak to this girl all throughout the island, it will be heard. I want you to call for Nico Robin. And Sanji asks, you know, what do you want Robin for? What are you going to do with her? And Black Maria says, oh, you know, we're going to torture her for years. You know, we'll pluck all of her limbs off until she gives us what we want. And then maybe only then will we kill her. And Sanji, this panel is so amazing. Sanji just dead face says, underestimate Nico Robin at your own peril. So this is pretty much confirmed at this point that we're going to be getting Black Maria versus Robin. And I'm so excited for this because Robin, during the time skip, was with Dragon. She was with the Revolutionaries. For 2 whole years, she was out there doing whatever, reconnaissance, fighting with the Revolutionaries. And we've only seen small little things that she can do since the time skip. Like, she's had very little in terms of fighting. Like, she had a few fights in Fishman Island just to kind of show off her new powers, the fact that she can like actually create full clones of herself. But we haven't really seen what she can do, and she hasn't had a one-on-one fight since all the way back in Skypiea versus that huge fat priest guy. So I'm super, super excited. I really hope that it's just going to be a flat-out one-on-one fight, because she needs it. Like, my girl needs it, and it's going to be good. It's going to be so good, and I'm really excited for what's going to happen, like, in Act 4 when we actually start to see that fight. So then, yeah, at this point, all of a sudden, all across the island... Oh, I should say... So the girl that they are motioning to, there's a lot of theories. The girl that Black Maria motions to with the thing on her face... So I want to talk a little bit about what I think Robin is up to on Onigashima, and I really have no clue what the end goal exactly is. Maybe she's looking for Kaido's poneglyph to like read it and like know what she has to say, but there's a lot of people who've been theorizing that Robin is actually all over the island, that we have seen her actually a bunch of times up to this point. So for example, like in the last chapter, I didn't mention this in my last review, but in the last chapter when they are in the room with CP0, there's a character who looks a lot like Nico Robin. And this character with the thing on her face that Black Maria is motioning to tell Sanji, speak to her and she'll, call out for Nico Robin. She kind of has like the same hairstyle as Robin. So people are thinking that Robin is actually already there, that she actually has her clones kind of all over Onigashima, and that she has some kind of secret agenda that we don't know yet. And I really hope that that's the case, because honestly, I could just see that reveal, like, where in the next chapter, she'll like pull it off and it's, oh my god, like Robin, I'm already here, grabs her, gigantesco mano, or, stomp, or gets Black Maria in like the clutch, is like grappling her, she can't move. But yeah, so at this point we go to Bao Huang, who I had mentioned earlier. It shows up later. So she starts like yelling out, detected, I found the red scabbards. And so this is where we see what actually happened after the events of chapter 1000, where Law, kind of booped out the scabbards from the roof. So I thought that he kind of just put them down on the floor below, but it looks like he just found like an empty room and moved them there. And I want to talk a little bit more about this when we get to the actual like meat of what happens here in this moment with the scabbards, but I do have kind of a little Law theory about why he moved them here. So Bao Huang is reporting that they found the red scabbards and that they are located in an isolated room. And another one of these girls with the things on her face, she's reporting this to King, and King is saying, anybody who's in the area, go and kill them. Like, go finish them off. We're going to kill the scabbards. And Black Maria says, she hears this from the girl with the thing on her face. And I'm not sure what this thing on the face is. I don't know if it's like a devil fruit, but I think it's just anybody who's wearing that can hear. I don't think it's like specifically like you have to be a person, because if that was the case, I don't think that maybe this girl with the thing on her face would be Robin, but I think it's just this piece of paper that they wear on their face that makes them be able to hear everybody. So Black Maria hears this where she's at with Sanji. She hears that King wants somebody to go kill the scabbards, and she says, I'm actually right by there, like I'll just go and do it. Do you want me to do this for you, King? And Bao Huang interjects here and says, hold on one second. There are 10 people in the room. And there should only be 9 from what we know, because there were 10 of Odin's vassals. You take out Kanjuro and there's 9. There's 9 of the scabbards that were up on the roof. But there's 10 bodies. And we can actually see at this point into the room, we see this figure, and she's hunched over by Kinemon. And she says, it's hard to tell, but someone is attempting to save the samurai. She doesn't know who it is. And then we get the final panel of the chapter. It's a silhouette. It says someone is there. It's a silhouette of a person. I don't know who it is. A lot of people are saying that because of the silhouette, it could be, it looks more feminine. I believe that it looks more feminine. And so the silhouette kind of looks like this. It's someone looking like this, and there is a line that comes down here. So there's a lot of theories as to who this person is. I think, personally, it's Toki. I don't know if I want it to be Toki, but that's who I personally believe it is. But I'm going to talk about all the people, including Enel, who people for some reason think it is. It's definitely not Enel, but people do think it's Enel. They think that it's the earlobe of Enel. It could be Fukurokuju, who is also has the very long earlobes. He could be now playing turncoat. Maybe this is a huge long game for him, and he was always loyal. To Odin, but maybe he could be checking in. I definitely think it's a female, and I think that the 2 people that it is most likely to be are Lady Hiyori, or Toki. And I think, honestly, it's probably more likely that it's going to end up being Lady Hiyori, but I think that it's Toki. I low-key actually want it to be Toki, because I think it would be absolutely nuts for the story if someone from the Void Sentry was actually still alive. I think that maybe she jumped forward to this day because, as we all know with Oda, no body, no crime. You know, if you don't actually see the body, they're not actually dead. So it would make sense to me that maybe she jumped forward in time to make sure that her vision could be carried through, to make sure that Odin's vision for the future was carried through. And I don't know if I believe that Toki will definitely live through to the end of the arc. If it is her, I think it would be absolutely insane if she did. But I feel like I feel like it would be such a shame for Oda to introduce this time fruit concept, the fact that there's a fruit that allows the user to travel through time, and not use it in any kind of like meaningful way. Especially for the fact that Toki is from the Void Sentry. I think we're at the point now where I am not in the camp that One Piece is ending soon. I think that One Piece has at least, everyone says 5 years. I think it has at least 6 to 7 years, maybe 10 years, tops. That I don't think it'll go past 10 years. But I think we have a very decent stretch of time before the story ends. So I think that we're at the point now, though, where the actual mystery of the world needs to start, like, opening up a little bit. Like, we know very, very little. We have a bunch of information, but nothing that means anything. Like, nothing that we can actually, like, tangibly connect about the Void Sentry. You know, we know about the ancient weapons. We know about Zunisha. We know from Robin's flashback in Eni's lobby, we know about this nameless kingdom. But I think it's time that we start getting a little bit more information. I think that Toki is going to be the vassal for that. But yeah, so that's where the chapter ends. Unfortunately, we have a break. We have the 2-week break. So next chapter is going to be out on, let me see, February 28th. So the next chapter is going to be out on February 28th. I'm so upset. I'm really upset. I totally understand. Like, I want Oda to take his time, and I want him to be healthy. I want him to take breaks when he can, but I'm now starting to get to the point where I haven't been up to current until this point. So now that I am current, like, whenever there's a break, I'm like, just give it to me. I just want to read. Like, but yeah, so my general thoughts on this chapter is I really thought it was a really good chapter. I think that the future is very, I say that about every chapter. It's a very good chapter. I love One Piece. Of course, it's a good chapter. I don't think it was as good as last chapter. I don't. Last chapter was really hype for me. I'm excited about where we're going from here. And I think that this was exactly what it needed to be. I was kind of hoping that I was right. I was exactly right about my prediction last time. I would say that I was probably like half right. I do still think that Chapter 1000, I do still think that Act 3 is going to be ending very, very soon. Maybe next chapter. Maybe. I think there's still some people we need to check in with. So I'm actually, as a safety, going to call it 2 more chapters. I'm going to say that in 2 more chapters is where Act 3 is going to end. Because we need to check in with Jinbei and Who's Who. We need to check in to see where Brook is. I think that Robin is going to actually reveal herself. Probably in the next chapter. I think that Robin's going to be there. Sanji's going to end up somewhere else. We need to check in with Chopper. So there's a lot of things that still need to kind of be like resolved before we move into kind of like the final phases of the arc. You know, Act 4, which is going to be, I'm sure Act 4 is going to be entirely fights. It's going to be a very fight focused. And so yeah, but overall, good chapter. Chapter 1004 was exactly what I needed it to be. Also, I want to say, I still think that I'm right about the Othello board. I don't think it's a go board. I think that maybe if it does end up being a go board, what I can see happening at this point is that the CP0 will take the go board, or will take the pieces, and they'll take all the black pieces that were previously surrounding the white pieces, and they'll surround those in white pieces. So now it looks like we have all these white pieces that are surrounded by the black pieces, but if you zoom out even larger, the black pieces are completely surrounded by the white pieces. But I still think it's Othello. I don't think it's Go. I'm gonna hold myself to that. Yeah, so generally, like I said, good chapter. Unfortunately, we do have the break, but I will be back in I will be back in 2 weeks, or well, a little less than 2 weeks at this point because I'm late getting this out. Really excited for that chapter. Thank you guys once again so much for watching. I want to throw this in at the end of the video. I know no one's going to see this, but I want to give a huge shout out to Roger's Base. I posted my last chapter review on the One Piece subreddit, and it got pretty brutally downvoted, and I was actually feeling really discouraged in general about making this chapter review. You know, I wasn't going to let it stop me, but I've been having a hard time getting motivated to actually make this video. It's why it's late this week. Even though I was super, super hyped for the chapter and I had a lot that I wanted to say about it. But Roger's Base, who, just what a guy. He saw my Reddit post and saw how it was being received, and he actually commented words of encouragement for me on my last video, and that's honestly has meant the world to me. But yeah, I don't want to dwell on that too long, but really I just want to thank him so much, and I know he probably isn't ever going to see this, but I want to have this down on video so that one day if my channel ever blows up and I get a chance to have any kind of dialogue with him, I can tell him what that meant to me. But yeah, so thank you guys so much. You know, not just thank you to big popular people on this platform. Thank you to every small little person who watches 2 seconds of my videos. Just doing this has been so good for me and has made me incredibly happy, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Even if the videos aren't good, even if my quality is really bad, if I don't have good equipment, I'm having fun and I'm loving what I'm doing, and it's all so worth it when I see even one person has checked out my video. Even if I know that one person is like my brother or my girlfriend or a family friend or my best friend, it means the world to me, and thank you guys so much. I promise I'm gonna stop with the thank yous and the long thank you segments and the wrap-ups pretty soon, but this is my first webcam video. I've been saying it a lot towards, you know, in my videos. I wanted you guys to see it straight from my face how much it means to me. But yeah, so thank you so much. That's been the chapter review for chapter 1004. As I say at the end of every video, if you liked it, please like and subscribe. It would mean the absolute world to me. Also, if you like me, you can find me and my brother at a separate channel called Division 9 Gaming. Links are in the description for our YouTube channel and our Twitch. We do a lot of video game content there. This stuff is more focused on like my manga reviews, and I have a few things that I'm going to be branching out into coming up. I have a few videos that I'm kind of workshopping around. I don't know when those will be out, but I'm really excited to actually write them out and record them and put them up for you guys. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Follow me on my second channel if you want to see more of me and you're kind of into video game content. And as I say at the end of every video, I will see you in chapter 1005.